Hello guys, it's Santa Cliff in February again. Now, after Christmas I bought something called a Golden Blonde Chocolate Star Christmas Pudding. Now normally this thing costs an absolute arm and a leg, right? Normally this Christmas pudding would cost £12, just a whopping £12. But because I got it after Christmas it cost me £3, okay? Now, it's actually the very last day it's in date. I'll have this over several days, and it's currently dated the 19th of the 2nd, 2022. Now, it is exactly the 19th of the 2nd of February 2022 today. And today, in the men's curling, Britain came second, okay, and won a silver medal. I could not possibly have known that unless it was today, okay? Also, at the moment, everybody's worried about the Russia potentially invading Ukraine. I don't believe it's going to happen, but it's what all the publicity is about. There's also about some story about one of Epstein's or Jeffrey or whatever his name is, that pedo guy, assistants killing themselves. So anyway, I've not I've had Christmas pudding before. I've not tried this exact one. Said normally this would have cost £12. So you guys are going to see what an expensive £12 Christmas pudding actually looks like. Now, it says Christmas pudding made with sultanas, white chocolate and caramelised sugar, fudge cubes and apple. Enriched with cider, brandy and rum, with a sachet of white chocolate with caramelised sugar and rum sauce. Okay, this is not the cheapest, but I would not pay normally £12 for a Christmas pudding. But as I said, it cost me £3, okay? And I'm going to have this over several days, okay? Now, I'm going to open it, so you're going to see exactly what I see, okay? I've not had one exactly like this before because I would never pay £12 for Christmas pudding. Truth, I've paid about £2–3 in the past, and that's about it. So here, inside, we've got the sachet. Okay, we've got a sachet of some sort of sauce, okay? And I'm going to put some of that into here because apparently it needs to go in the microwave. Now, to do this really nicely, what you're supposed to do is put all this in the microwave. However, and normally you would share this with several people. Normally what you would do is you would put this in the microwave, turn it upside down like this, put it in the microwave, lift the top up, and then you would put some of this in the microwave separately, and then you'd pour this over the top. It looks very nice when you do, okay? And it would look something like that if I was actually going to do it like that. That's how it's supposed to look, okay? However, I'm not going to do any of that because, to be honest, I do not want to eat an entire one all in one day. And my mum doesn't really like this kind of stuff, so I think it's a bit too rich for her, you know, so well, I know it will be because on the expensive ones especially they put all sorts of stuff in it. So my mum's somebody who prefers plain stuff generally, so I'm going to instead, and as I said, you shouldn't do any of this, but I'm going to do it anyway, right? This is not how you should do it. I'm going to take this off. And now you can see inside. I'm going to scoop it out. Again, so this is not what you're supposed to do at all. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut some of it out. And I'm going to put it into a bowl. Now I know you can't, I've done this off camera because it's too difficult to do it on camera, but there you go. So I'm going to cut some. This So now it looks a terrible goddamn mess. As I said, normally they look quite cute with them curved upside down. Like I said, it looks like that normally, and they do look quite cute when you do them, but I have bought smaller ones in the past, and I may have even shown you me eating one on a video, I can't remember. But anyway, this is Christmas pudding. Now, I'm going to try some. I'm going to see. It looks as if it's actually cooked anyway, so I'm going to try some. Now, I'm supposed to put this in the microwave for 2 minutes and the sauce for 50 seconds. To be honest, it tastes a bit like, well, if you have it cold, which I've never done before, it tastes just like some sort of fruit cake, which I know it technically is. But normally, as I said, people have these hot. So, I've been told to put it in the microwave. So what I'm going to do is I'm supposed to put this on afterwards and put this in the microwave separately. I'm not actually going to do that. I'm going to regret this, and I know I'm going to regret this big time. I'm going to try and cut this open somehow, which I know is going to be a disaster, because if a camera's involved it will be a disaster. So I've managed to pull it out slightly, look. And now I'm going to squeeze this directly over the pudding. As I said, you're not supposed to do it this way. I'm going to do it anyway. I've squeezed about a quarter of it. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to try and spread that over so it looks like this. By the way, I forgot to mention it. This is M&S, and it says M&S, which is Marks and Spencer. One of our more upmarket stores. It's not for like millionaires entirely, but sometimes millionaires have gone there. And so poor people can afford to go there, but they choose not to because a lot of things are very expensive. But they could save up and buy things. So if you're poor, it's the sort of thing where you can save up and go there. It's not so, you know, but normal people wouldn't buy things regularly from there. Often because it's, I mean, unless they've got a good job or a reasonable job, or they don't mind saving up for things and going without other things like an iPhone or something, you know. And so, right, there you go. M&S food is generally known to be quite good, although I think it's probably, in recent times, I've heard it's gone downhill slightly, I've heard, but I don't know, okay? So anyway, I know in recent times they've had a sort of more budget range also in Marks and Spencer's, and they would have never done something like that in the past. It would have been against their ethics to go cheap, because they're not really a cheap type company. Anyway, there you go. I know that's not how you're supposed to do it, but that's what I'm going to do. So now, I'm going to put this now. It's supposed that you're meant to put the entire thing in the microwave for 2 minutes on the highest possible. Now, I've learned a microwave trick, which nobody else has bothered with, is that sometimes you can cook things better in the microwave if you actually turn the microwave heat down. So instead of cooking it on full, if you click it on half, but for a bit longer, it actually does sometimes a better job. And so it doesn't tend to burn things. Now, you might think, what are you talking about, burn things in a microwave? Yes, I'm talking about burning things generally in a microwave. It is possible. In fact, once, and I didn't think this was actually possible, but I did actually manage to, I mean, nothing set fire, but I did manage to totally burn, I forget even what it was now. I think it was some porridge or something. I forget what it was. And it went complete. Oh no, that was it. It was mash. I managed to actually burn some mashed potato. And I thought I'd turned it down because it's a new strategy I've got. And we have these microwavable mashed potato, which my mum likes. So I just had to shut her up basically. and I put it on full for about 10 minutes, thinking I actually turn it down to very low on the microwave. And when I opened the door, it was all brown. It had all burnt, it had all gone brown, and I wouldn't have thought that was possible in the microwave, but yes, it is possible. So anyway, I'm now going to put this into the microwave for about 3 or 4 minutes on a lower heat than you would normally put this in the microwave on, I believe. And I'll check it each time, and then I'm going to take it out and I'm going to eat it, okay? And just so you can see, this is what it looks like inside. That's after I've taken some of this out, okay? So I'm going to have this over roughly about 4 days, okay? So this should be about 4 days worth of food there for me, okay? Right, and I believe, I can't remember now, but I think was it Marie Antoinette? I forget. There was some queen or somebody who said, let them eat cake, right? As if it was some sort of insult for the poor, not realising that many years later, cakes would actually be a luxury for the poor, okay? Particularly given that this, if you're in full, and this is what you pay £12 for. But there you go, and just to prove it, there's absolutely nothing else in the box at all. There's the box, and there's nothing else inside. So that's what £12 gets you normally. But I got it for £3 because it was after Christmas. Okay. So thanks for watching. I'm now going to put it in the microwave, and I'm going to eat it, and then I'm going to comment on it. Okay. Given this is meant to be like a luxury, expensive Christmas pudding, because normally normal people pay about £3 for something like this, but probably a bit smaller. Okay. Right. Okay, guys. I've got it out of the microwave. I touched it before I got it out of the microwave and it seemed quite hot. It's also quite sticky and it's starting to melt, so I'm now going to eat it. Okay, so now I'm trying to not touch the bottom because the bottom's very hot. The side of the pudding bowl is not too hot, but the bottom is, so. It's still very hot because of the microwave. I said I heated this on a lower heat, but for a bit longer perhaps. I forgot. I've actually got a plate, so. I can put it on a plate on top of the pudding bowl. Okay. here you can see it's dripping. So now it's got a caramel taste. I'll give it that. But would I say this was worth £12? Okay. In absolute fairness, um, I've had much cheaper ones, but as far as I think I might even prefer the cheap ones. I don't know really. It's difficult because interesting to try a bit at the bottom which hasn't had any of the caramel on it. Or very little of the caramel on it. For those who haven't had Christmas cake, if you're in a different country it doesn't have this kind of thing, it's very similar to having a fruit cake, truthfully. And I mean, I will be honest, they haven't been tight regarding the sultanas and comments and things like that. They've been, they've put a lot of what I call fruit in, but apart from that, I wouldn't say there was anything truthfully exceptional about it. Maybe if you're a millionaire and you've got so much money you don't know what to do with it, then the slight difference in taste between perhaps a £3 one and this, a normal, I mean £2 is a normal price, might be enough to tempt you to pay this, but I think really you're paying mostly, in my view, for the sauce, truthfully. If you just try some of the normal parts of it, but haven't had this, sauce dribbled on it, it's not much of a difference than what I would say a cheaper one was made of. So for £3 it was a bargain, because normally you pay probably for it more, slightly more than £3 for one that size, probably more than £3 for one that size anyway. But would I say it's worth £12? In my view, no. But if you want, like the caramel taste and you do not care about the cost and you like the sachet that comes with it, then you might think it's worth it. For me, I'm mostly paying for the sauce, because normally people put things like brandy cream, which you can buy around Christmas time on Christmas puddings, and that's a lot generally whiter than the mixture that I poured on it. So there you go, it's finished in real terms. I'll just teeny little bit. One lesson I've learnt in life is that often expensive things aren't as good as you think they're going to be, okay? And you often find this out where I suppose it's a difference between being rich and being poor, I suppose. I mean, if you're rich and you try something that's aimed at poor people, then you'll generally be disappointed thinking this is much worse. But if you're poor and you try something that's aimed at rich people, you usually have these fantasy ideas about it's going to be something the most out of this world, the most exotic thing you've ever tried in your life. You'll never try anything like that again. And to be absolutely honest with you, um, you're usually disappointed because things are slightly better, but not as good as you'd rather hoped. You don't know what you're expecting, but you're expecting something exceptional. And usually think, is that it? And I said, I've never tried an expensive Christmas pudding before and aimed at sort of rich people. As I said, poor people could afford this. It's £12. £12 is not completely out of, affordability for some poor people. People who've got a job at least. I'm not talking about people on the streets or people who are really struggling to make ends meet. I mean, people who've got a job. But they could save up and go without other things to pay for it. But they may be disappointed and think it wasn't as good as I thought. I like the caramel sauce. I'll give it that. I like the sauce. But the actual pudding itself, I don't think was anything special, anything that different from what I've had before, truthfully. Anyway, that's me eating a Marks and Spencer's Golden Blonde Chocolate Star Christmas pudding. Okay, and I will have this now for the next 3 days. Okay, so if I'll have this 4 days in total in a few days' time. Okay, so there you go, guys. Christmas pudding in February. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.